Hello again. This video I'm going to show you how to place the second floor. Before we did the first level floor, which is right here. Now we have to put the second level floor somewhere in this area right there. So to do that, first thing I have to do is I have to work with my elevations a little bit, because right now there's nothing saying that this is a two-story house until I go in and work with these elevations. And you can choose whichever one you want to. I typically work out of the south elevation, but everything you do in the south elevation is going to apply to the other elevations, the west, the east, and the north. So first I'm going to kind of clean a few things up here a little bit. I'm going to select this elevation and I'm going to drag it right over here. And if you do it just right, it drags both of them along with it. Now that's level 1, but I really don't want it to be level 1. For my structural purposes, I want to call this, what do I want to call this? Well, I do want to call this level 1. And here I want to call this top of wall 1. Okay, so that's telling me where the top of this wall comes to. All right, and my walls, would you like to? Yes, I do want to rename the corresponding views. They're not going to be 10 feet. They're going to be more like 8 or 8 feet and a few inches. You have to have 8 foot of clearance, no less than 8 foot of clearance from the floor surface up to the roof itself. And sometimes even if I type 8 foot in here, depending on the materials that I'm using on my first floor, I may not get exactly 8 feet. So I'll have to go back and double check that as well. So let's go ahead for now. Let's just put in 8 feet. So I have an 8 foot wall there. That's top of wall 1. Now, of course, to go to the second floor, it's not a just a paper thin layer that sits there dividing the first and the second floor. There is a space to that, and we're going to place another one of these elevation markers in the architecture tab and under level. We're going to place this about 1 foot, and again we'll probably go back and adjust that about 1 foot above that previous level. All right, now we're going to clean it up just a little bit. Click the little lightning bolt and pull that upwards like that. Click on this next line, and here's that little lightning bolt, if you can see that. Click on that. And this one is going to be level 2. And of course, it's not written in stone that everything has to be labeled like this. That's how we're going to label it for this exercise, for this activity. But that could look different depending on who you're designing houses for and where you're designing the house. And yes, I would like to rename the corresponding view level 2. Now I need to come up with a ceiling level on level 2, and that's going to be just like I did here with top of wall 1. That's going to be my ceiling level, and I'm going to do the same thing for top of wall 2. And I'm going to go up 8 feet for now, and I may adjust some of that later. Okay, make sure all of those are nice and even. Alright, so right now I've got a total of 17 feet with all of my walls. And I'm going to call this top of wall 2. And yes, I do want to rename that. Alright, so now we've got some levels worked out. You may have to add some more levels depending on what you're doing and what type of components you're going to add to your building. But these are going to be the most basic components or the most basic levels that you're going to need. Let's see, from here we're going to go and place the floor. All right, so the second floor, we're going to go to, now we have to go to level 2. Make sure you do that. Don't go to level 1. You'll be placing the floor on level 1. All right, so to place the floor on level 2, I'm at level 2, and let's see, architecture, floor tool. Okay, and depending on what I want to, what kind of floor I want to have. Now, here's the one that I made earlier, and I erroneously did not duplicate it, nor did I rename it. But that's okay. This is the only thing I'm going to really need in this particular plan. I'll come back to that later, but I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and just name it. Oops, no, I take that back. I cannot do this. Okay, so what we're going to do for a floor on this level is we have to create, again, another floor type. Or I may not have to do that. We actually have a 12-inch. Okay, we can do this wood truss. We want to use trusses, not simply joists. We want to use trusses. Trusses are the web-looking supports that go between floors in the attics and things of that nature. So we're going to use this wood truss. Right now it has a carpet finish. We're going to fix that. We're going to go to Edit Type, and we're going to change the finish. We're going to click on our first. We want to duplicate. Okay, now I didn't do that when I was doing the first floor. I should have, but I didn't. But let's go ahead and duplicate this and just call it also. This one's also going to be wood finish. Okay. And it is, all I'm going to do is change the words here to wood finish. Okay, so it is wood finish. The 2, I could have deleted that. Don't really need it. Then I'm going to edit. We have carpet. We see that. And we also have plywood sheathing in the structural layer, which is good. That's what we need. Plywood sheathing, or what we refer to as decking, because, you know, without it, you would just step right through the floor. We do not use concrete on the second floor in this case. Like we did on the first floor earlier, we must use the wood trusses. Typically, you're not going to use concrete on the second floor of a home. Seldom you would, and definitely in a commercial building you would. It's a completely different method of construction, but for this project, we're going to use the joists, not concrete. But I'm going to change this carpet. I'm going to change it to what I did last time, wood stained, and also change some of the features of that wood stain. Okay. And again, the preview, you can actually see the different layers. That's your 1/8 of an inch, and actually we're going to make that a little thicker. I think we did 1/2 inch. Here we go. Click OK. Okay. All right, so now we want to double check some things before we start laying this floor down. Make sure you're on level 2. Again, go back and check, make sure you're on level 2. And then we just go around, and again we click, 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 click. And then we can adjust. Now we do want these to extend into the wall, and I think it's going to ask us that question here in just a moment. We don't want it to go all the way outside to the outside. We only want that on the first floor. So I'm going to click the check mark, and there we go. The floor roof overlaps the highlighted walls. Would you like to join geometry and cut the overlapping volume out of the walls? I don't want to do that. Let's put no. But it didn't give me any other options. It should have. Let's go and let's see. Let's take a peep in 3D. Okay, so you see it. It's in there. It's at the right level, but it really should extend at least halfway through the wall, or at least underneath, you know, to the core. That's where it needs to go. It needs to go to the core. So let's click on that again. Go back to level 2 so we can edit it. Okay, because right now it looks like it's getting, no, it didn't. It actually went inside of the wall. This is good. Let's measure that. This is a new feature. Looks like on, look, yes, 1/2 inch. That is your drywall. So that floor does extend under that drywall. I didn't have to ask me that question. It just automatically did it. That is fantastic. But you learn something new every day, and this is a new version of Revit, and that is certainly a new feature of it doing that. So there we go. We do have our floor, our second floor.